on this computer. Good. Now we're good. Okay. Well, let's just get ready to rock and roll. Um, okay, I'm gonna do the intro and then we go from there. Three, two, wait a second, let me do this real quick. If I get rid of this and get rid of that, then I'm looking higher. That helps. Okay, here we go. Three, two, one. Well, thank you, my friend Jesse Cole, owner of the Savannah Bananas. There are no hidden tricks with today's 15 on Fridays with Fletch. So where do you start with someone who's a Navy SEAL, a retired NASA astronaut who flew on 3 space missions with the Japanese, the Russians, and 1 mission with 13 astronauts at the same time, still a record. He's the chief of the astronaut office, or he was at NASA for 2 years, and now he serves as president and CEO of the National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington. And yes, he truly is a rocket scientist. He's a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy and also M.I.T. Please welcome an American hero and patriot and the president and CEO of the National Medal of Honor Museum, Chris Cassidy.
Chris, it's great to be with you. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Veterans Day is coming up on Tuesday, November 11th. I know you've got a lot going on. First, tell us what Veterans Day means to you as a Navy SEAL.
Well, it's not just as a Navy SEAL, but as somebody that wore a naval uniform for 28 years, it has grown to mean different things throughout my tenure or my life as a related to the military. At the beginning of all that, I think it meant more of like, oh, that's what it's for old people, right? When I was a young guy, I kind of had that bias in my head. And then as I served in the military and realized, oh, I'm part of the community too, just taking the appreciation for those that served before and those that I was serving with at the time. And now having been retired, I feel like particularly here in North Texas, there's such a patriotic sense about the community that we live in. I feel like Veterans Day is a way for the nation to come together and appreciate those in the military and those that have served. And it just kind of has grown to be more significant to me in a more meaningful way at this stage in my life than when I first joined the military.
When you think of the word valor, tell us about that, what it means to you and what it means to people who have actually served.
Yeah, so above and beyond the call of duty, gallantry in action, heroic service, valor, all those words kind of get tossed around when you read citations of medals of any kind. Now that I've been associated with the Medal of Honor community and read many, many of those citations, the word valor certainly describes the actions that we showcase here in the museum. And I think that for me, valor is a word that can be applied to lots of situations, but at its core, I think it's putting others above self, putting service to the nation first, putting service to others first. And the action of valor doesn't have to be running around with bullets being shot at you and such. It can be any such activity where one puts the needs of others over the needs of yourself. I think that describes a valor of action.
I love the slogan of Rotary, which is service above self. I think that's pretty much what you're saying there. Like you said, putting others above yourself, not just in battle, but we show bravery. We see bravery in everyday life with things that people face that can be challenges and how people stand up to them and handle them.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So tell us about, I know you've got busy weekends activities with the Veterans Day weekend. Tell us about it.
Well, of course, all patriotic holidays are important for venues like ours, the Medal of Honor Museum, and other military affiliated venues around the country. And it's a way to showcase what we have here in the building, but also a way to pay thanks to those that have served. So we'll have discounted tickets for for those that have served, which we do all the time, and I think we might have a deeper discount or even free. I'd have to check with the staff. I actually don't know, to be honest with you. But all active duty people are always free to come to the museum. And on July 4th, we had a really nice event on the lawn of the museum, outdoor events and family related activities, and we'll have something similar on Veterans Day. I'm excited for all of that. Um, so it's just a special time to pay tribute to those that we showcase in the museum.
What do people need to know about any special ceremony that takes place on Veterans Day?
So we're exploring that schedule right now, but the museum opens at 10. So some kind of ceremonial activity will happen closer to lunchtime, I'm sure. We've got a nice rotunda that is a picturesque setting to have flags and some sort of commemorative activity, and we'll do something very similar to that. I don't know the exact time yet, but somewhere between opening at 10 but probably closer to lunchtime.
Tell us what newcomers need to know about the National Medal of Honor Museum to fully appreciate it.
So there's certainly you can come and buy a ticket and explore it on your own, and many people enjoy doing just that. Uh, and I'm kind of more of that type of a museum goer where I just prefer to read and take my own time. But and since we've been open, I've had the pleasure of joining several of the tours, and we have some fantastic tour guides. And I really have come to enjoy uh, the experience with a tour guide. They add so much augmented information that's not readily on the plaque that you're reading or not part of the video, but they add little cool pieces of data or history that make the story come to life a little bit more even. And then that takes an hour, the guided tour, and then you're free to stay in the exhibit deck as long as you want and read and view and interact with displays as much as you want beyond that. So I personally would recommend being part of the guided tour experience just because the exhibit guides are so knowledgeable and have really cool, interesting facts that make enrich your experience here. Um, and you can do it in small chunks, especially if you become a member. Then you can come back as many times as you want, and then you can take like just an hour here, and in a month from now, do another hour, and you can read another section. If you're coming in just one day, definitely several hours, 2, 3. In some cases, people spend 4 hours reading, experiencing everything to experience. But I would encourage folks to be a member, not because I'm trying to sell you on anything, but just then, especially if you're local, then you can come back as many times as you want and take it in chunk by chunk.
So tell us about the most if you were to say the 3 most popular areas that people visit and that they comment the most about. Tell us about those.
Well, there's a movie that is about 7 minutes long. That's the very first thing that everybody experiences. The exhibits are upstairs. You take the elevator or take the stairs, and it enters you into this circular theater. And there's sound and screens on the inside and outside of the circle, kind of like picture a donut type shape, and you can wander around. And that 7-minute video is my favorite part of the whole entire experience because it's very moving. It sets the stage of what the medal is, what the people are, or what was going through the minds of the people when they did their action and when they got awarded the medal by the president. It kind of takes you through that whole journey in a very emotional way. I love it. It's my favorite part. And then you exit that and it's a very open concept design. You can take any path you like. And that's, I think, another cool aspect of it. Your journey today can be different from your journey last time you visited just by taking a slightly different path around the floor. Um, and then we've got some cool interactive features where some are video screens that are normal screens that you would see. Others, it's a whole giant wall of video that it senses your presence and tells you stories as you move around the wall. You can have a conversation with Medal of Honor recipients in a artificial intelligence kind of environment, but it's the real guy. Look, you're sitting there, um, and you can fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam, and so there's lots of things. But my personal favorite is that core experience 7 minute long video.
So tell us more about the AI experience. So you're able to bring some things to life in a way that's different than you might have done, say, 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So we've recorded, there's 61 living Medal of Honor recipients. We've recorded five of them in this way, where they go to a studio. It happens to be out in California. They sit in the studio, and there's about 25 cameras all around them. They have to sit in the same chair, in the same clothes, and they get asked approaching 1,000 questions over a several day period, and they answer their answers. And then the algorithm then takes all those answers and puts it together. And now um, people can sit down in our exhibit space and ask the recipient any question, and it will deliver the answer that they have, and the AI kind of pulls together their words from other answers, and you can have a legitimate conversation with that recipient sitting there right in front of you. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, that's fascinating because when you consider being able to, as you mentioned a moment ago, to see what was in their minds, hear what was in their mind when they were engaged in not a battle, but in those moments before battle and all the
Right.
things that are going on, the strategy that's going on. I mean, so there's a depth, there's a level. It's not just walking in and seeing uniforms and medals. It's a lot deeper
It
than
is
that.
it is way deeper than just walking in and seeing uniforms and medals. We would not get repeat visitors if it was just coming in and seeing uniforms and medals.
So, what are the most important compliments that you've received from people? What are they saying about how it's touched their hearts?
Great question. We About 3 weeks ago, we had what I call the perfect day. We had buses of school kids doing a field trip. We had buses of an elderly um, retirement home outing where there were people later stages in life exploring, many of them veterans, exploring the building. We had a commercial company, a bank, had bought out the theater and were using our event hall for their company meeting. And at the same time, we had active duty members arrived in uniform walking around. That was the perfect day. And that day we had several comments from people saying, "Wow, this is pretty special place," and those comments are usually around the exhibits that are most associated with that person's memories of their own service. If they're were a Vietnam veteran themselves, maybe it might be the helicopter rescue mission that you can fly virtually. For somebody that's younger, that's an active duty person right now, maybe they served in Iraq or Afghanistan. Those folks really are moved to the stories of Medal of Honor recipients in those conflicts because they can put themselves in Fallujah. They can put themselves in the mountains of Afghanistan where those actions took place. So it's the personal connections that I think are so moving to people, and those are the comments that we get that I think are very special.
Anything else you'd like to share today?
No, it's just been a real privilege to be part of this organization and deliver this thing to the nation. That's how we see it. It's a national treasure. Happens to be here in Arlington, happens to be in North Texas, and we're the caretakers of it. But it's for the nation, and in due time, the architecture of the building is really, really unique and cool. And I think in due time, people all over the nation will see the Medal of Honor building, this building, the museum building, and associate it with the values of courage and commitment, integrity, and sacrifice to others, and what the medal means. And so I think that will be just like when you see the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, a picture of those, you think of the founding fathers. In George Washington's case, you think of Lincoln uniting our nation in the Civil War. or whatever it means to you. I think people will think the same thing when they see this museum's picture in due time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, you've been watching 15 on Fridays with Fletch with my special guest, Chris Cassidy, President and CEO of the National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington. Chris, you inspire us with your service and how you honor the brave men and women of our military, especially with Veterans Day and Veterans Day weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fletch.
Chris, that was awesome. Man, you're a natural. You know it? I mean, you're calm. And so were you always calm, or did the military help? I mean, you're measured, you're calm. I would bet that you would never, in a moment of battle, freak out on something. You just seem to be. Were you always calm like that, or was that something that that the military helped you?
No, maybe the military helped a little. I think it just part of it is my personality. I played sports in my town in Maine, and I always loved being on the free throw line with 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
That kind of thing situation never fazed me. So maybe it's a little bit innate in me, but the military refined it. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, because like I said, you want to be the guy with the ball. You want to be the quarterback on the 10
Yeah, I
yard line,
was.
throwing it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that's, and I think I told you, a fraternity brother of mine from TCU, Tex Brown, set the record for the number of sorties in Vietnam. And
Yeah,
he
that's
was just
amazing.
like you. He was, give me the ball at the last second. We're playing the intramural softball championship. And in slow pitch softball, if you foul the third strike, you're out. And
Uh,
so we're playing and we're down one run playing for the school championship. And he comes up and the other team's guys are jawing at him saying, yeah, Rick Brown, big stud, Mr. Big Man. And so we're playing at a field that didn't have a fence. So you could go way far back. And there's a big wind coming from right field to left field. And so so he hits this towering shot. He's got two strikes on him, hits a towering shot with two outs, and it starts off going for dead center, and the wind starts moving it. And you see it coming closer to the line and closer to the line, and you're wondering, hero or goat, what's it going to be? And because it's so far over the other guy's heads, he is already at second base by the time they track it down. And so it falls a foot fair. And
uh,
that was just that charmed life that the guy who is the man who wants the ball on the last play of the last game, just
yeah,
like what you're
yeah,
talking about. And where in your life you relished doing that, you didn't fear it. You thought, man, this is what I live for.
yeah, yeah,
Man, that's
yeah.
so cool. Is there anything going on that I can help you with behind the scenes? Anything at all that I can do for you?
That's kind of you to ask. Can't think of anything, but if there is, I'll reach out.
I'm going to check. There's a reporter at KRLD named Alan Skaya, and I'm going to put a bug in his ear about Veterans Day and see if there may be something. He's gone from working full time to part time. He's been wanting to do his own podcast, and he's been trying to get out, and they keep on throwing more money at him. And so I think he's finally getting to do that. So, but he's going to be having a podcast going too. But he's really highly listened to at KRLD. So I'm going to see if there might be something for him to do as a package, a radio package for you about
Okay.
Veterans Day. And
Awesome.
plus, he's just a real good guy to know. So anytime you
Awesome.
need something, especially if you need something to get out as a story, but doesn't need to be directly linked to y'all, and I can do it, and I'm not tied to y'all, I'm always happy to do it.
Super. Thank you, Fletch.
Hey, thanks again. I appreciate it, Chris. We'll see
Have a
you.
good weekend.
All right.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank Madeline for me. Thanks.
I will.